We've got Aboriginal communities, indigenous communities who are at the forefront of climate resistance. And on UK shores, it is also local communities, and in their numbers women who have been at the forefront of fighting fracking in Lancashire, but also all over the country. So I'm delighted that Louise Rothery is with us. Tina is also from the Green Party, and she's a nana from Lancashire, and now turned out that she's even a drummer in a samba band. But so that's with delight that I welcome my friend and comrade Tina Louise.
That thing just kind of happens. I think when you've spent 2.5 years at a roadside, I'm not quite sure whether it's our inability to create new ideas, but we've just come up with everything to keep ourselves there. I mean, you'll know from your own experience in the unions that, you know, when you're striking or when you're doing things that are adverse to what you choose to be doing in life, you're not living life the way you choose to live it. You are forced by the virtue of someone with control over you to take actions that don't suit you, that take you away from your family, take you away from earning. Then we have to find something within that space that keeps us there. And for the women I stand with particularly, I mean the men are fabulous too, but the women have just come up with the most amazing dreams and schemes that have kept us there and kept us strong and kept us united. Everything from knitting together in an unwieldy lock-on that took in gates and woolly handcuffs and security guards and cops and everything else, to dancing and singing, and then as of today, samba banding. And it's, you know, it weaves us together, and I think that togetherness, that union and that unity is what you must surely understand as unions, is what's at the base of our strength. Because the problems we all face, whether you're a union, whether you're a worker, whether you're a migrant, whether you're fighting for the environment, are all based on the same problem. The control is in the wrong hands. It's with people who have power over us, rather than a society that would choose to work together. And I must have been to hundreds of meetings across the country. And what lifted me more than anything was that no one in the room was fighting for anything for themselves. They were all fighting for something far greater and far more important, which is the future for our young people. So I think that the fact that the control being in the hands of the people who abuse the power, whether they be government or corporations and bankers, is what's left us in the mess that we're in, not only as environmentally, but societally as well, and where the impacts of the things that go wrong with the environment will naturally affect those who are worse off in society, because we even have a sector that's called worse off in society. So how do we solve this? And I think you touched on it with the Green New Deal, and I remember finding hope for one of the first times when I first read 1 Million Climate Jobs and thinking, the answers are there. They are there. And yes, monetary theory, I tried that one. And yes, it's a muddy, murky world and really hard to explain. But you kind of get it when you read it, and you get that it's all about interest, and it's all about digits on a screen. It's not real. We did a bank bailout because they're too big to fail. Well, what is the planet? What are our children? What's our nature? What's the insects? You know, they're too big to fail. So we need to pick ourselves up, you know, out those in control. So yes, they've declared a climate emergency. We've had those been declared in councils across the country. But what needs to go hand in hand with that declaration of a climate emergency is a clear outline of what we do about that. Because what does that mean? Because to me what it means is, if a council has declared a climate emergency, every planning application that goes across their table, unless that is environmentally sound, it should not pass. Every job offer that is offered to an employee, if they find out, as Eddie Stobart's did, that their drivers were now delivering to a frack site, should be able to do a green strike, should be able to say, you know what, there's a climate emergency, and whatever it is, my job should not depend on doing something that will bring harm. You look at that, and I think we've only ever had one green strike, and that was in Sydney, in the building of the Opera House, when it was on sacred lands for the car park. And it's the one place that never got that car park, because the workers said no. This is not good for the environment, it's not good for our history, it's certainly not good for our culture, and we will not do this. But we need to empower and enable our workers to be able to exist within a Green New Deal that doesn't leave anyone behind. So if we are going to close down the old industries, we better start prepping, as they did during wartime. And go, right, this factory is no longer making chairs. It was making bombs. It's now going to make wind turbines. It's going to help produce tidal. We're going to, insulate our homes and improve our public transport, which can only be done if we take the control back out of those hands and put it back in national control and back in the hands of the people. So I think our problem is just 1% of a problem, and they just have to go. And I'm not quite sure how that happens. But if we can get something like the Green New Deal and work that hand in hand with the million climate jobs and start empowering ourselves in our workplaces and in our education sector particularly. Yesterday I did the talk at the May Day rally in Lancaster, and at first I was thinking, what do we have in common? You guys and I have hung out for years, and I remember in the beginning trying to think what was our common ground. But what is the common ground between the environment and a union? Well, I don't know, what's the environment got to do with education, healthcare, transportation? We're all working in the industries that are either causing the harm or could be the catalyst that brings a better future. And certainly education is a place to start. And I'm very proud of my great nephew, Josh, for having been really brave, not only just in speaking to this room, but he's grown up in a kind of wacky world because he has spent his entire life in anti-fracking. I don't know what that does to a child. I'm not sure if it's bad, but we like him. And so, but watching the kids and listening to Greta Thunberg, and someone said to me today, you're tireless. You keep going on and on and on. What will it be next? And what it is, there is no bravery or honor in what we do. Yeah, we're resilient, but only because how I see this visually is I stand every day on that road and someone is coming directly towards my child and my grandchild and all the other children in our community. And what they're carrying has been known to harm other children. And they're telling me, trust me, it won't hurt yours. Well, bollocks, I'm sorry, I think it might. And what will it take to move me off that road? So I'm not stubborn, I'm not resilient, and I'm far from a hero. I'm just standing there because if I don't, they get a clear run at my kids, and you can't let that happen. So the Green New Deal, I think, is a way forward. I think the youth screaming out has finally got the attention. I think taking out the 1% is our next option. Thank you.